Hello, I hope you're doing well. The Baron is a particularly easy fight when you normally fight him despite being very late into progression. His ability, Sanguine Coil, is my favorite ability in the game, so I wanted to challenge myself to see how early into the game I could beat him. The two requirements for this fight are being able to destroy the barrels easily and then have some ability left to damage the boss. And so when I did this, I used the X-Strike ability of the Axis for damage, and the Spectral Wolf and Shadowbolt spells for the barrels. I performed this in a world where I had already beaten every boss, so I just unequipped all my spell jewels so I wouldn't gain any extra buffs that I shouldn't have otherwise. I found that an enchanted brew was actually necessary for the fight, because that allowed you to gain just enough spell power so that Spectral Wolf would destroy barrels in one hit. And an interesting note is that the barrels count as destructible objects, like background objects, so Vampire's damage to them is not based on gear level, but only physical power and spell power. With a tier 4 amulet and an enchanted brew, Spectral Wolf literally has just enough damage to destroy the barrels in one hit, and Shadowbolt at that point easily does enough damage. At this point in the game, Shadowbolt and Spectral Wolf are the only spells we have access to that can actually one-shot the barrels and are simple enough to use. At the beginning of the fight, the Baron will only actually summon 2 waves of barrels, so we can use Shadowbolt for damage instead of destroying barrels. I never thought Shadowbolt would actually be useful, but I was definitely proven wrong. The dash can be used to run past the last wave of barrels so we can save the rest of our abilities for damage. We won't actually be using the dash for damage at all, in terms of increasing the power of our melee abilities, but it can be used with the Axe's X-Strike to increase the damage of it if you cast it within the range of the ability going off. Now, we want to stay as far away from the Baron as possible, so he'll never do his melee attack, and we have more time to dodge his Sanguine Coil. We have to be very, very cautious of casting our own spells while he prepares Sanguine Coil, so that we have enough speed to be able to actually sidestep his Sanguine Coil. If we get hit by Sanguine Coil, it isn't really that bad, the damage, since we can take 2 of them and still survive, but it actually heals the boss a decent amount, which undoes a decent chunk of progress. Then, later in the fight, at around 75% health, the Baron will summon 3 waves of barrels instead, and at this point we only use X-Strike for damage. Spectral Wolf will actually grant stacks of Phantasm if we hit the barrels, so if we get a free cast off of the Phantasm stacks, we can then use the additional cast to either hit another barrel or damage the Baron for extra damage to speed up the fight. Later in the fight then, at 50% health, the Baron can summon spread out waves of barrel from the top or bottom of the arena instead of the sides, at which point we can simply walk between the barrels. During this phase we can use all of our abilities for damage since we don't need them to destroy the barrels, and we save the dash for when we want to ensure that we will not take damage from a Sanguine Coil. After that, these phases then just go on a cycle, so it's simply a matter of dealing as much damage as we can. X-Strike can be used to damage the barrels and the Baron at the same time, but I just wasn't skilled enough to do this consistently. I was able to do this in the end, spoiler alert, but there are some interesting optimizations you could do. Once the Baron summons the 3 waves of barrels, they come closer to each other, so you might actually be able to get past 2 of the individual waves with the recast of Veil of Chaos, although I didn't try this myself. We could also do the fight with even less gear than this, funnily enough. If you use the crossbow for damage, you can probably use Merciless Copper or Copper weapons. I just used the Axe's X-Strike at Iron level because it was the one I was most familiar with. And the crossbow has an insanely long cast time of 1 second, which is very bad if you get caught out. The armor could also be lowered to Merciless Night Stalker or Night Stalker as well. You don't actually need the gear level to destroy the barrels, so if you do this, you'd probably end up getting one shot by him, and you'd be dealing less damage, so I just went with the Hollow Fang Vest level in order to make it a little simpler. If we're already going for iron weapons, I figured it would be applicable. With all this, if you can get past 2 of the 3 rows of barrels with Veil of Chaos, you might be able to lower down to the Gravedigger Ring, and if Shadowbolt will still deal enough damage to destroy the barrels, you can then not have to use your 3rd spell, or your 2nd spell rather, for damaging the barrels, but you can use it instead for damaging the boss. Ultimately, I'm very proud of this run and just thought it was an interesting exercise to see how early I could do one of my favorite fights. Doing it with only the copper tier spells was very interesting as well since I didn't have too many to play with, and I hope this was interesting to you as well. At this point, I'm just gonna let the rest of the fight play out. Thank you for watching my little bit of shenanigans. I hope you found it interesting.
this for flavor? Have a taste. Oh! Have a taste. Aha! Did you get an assistant? Or have I... Oh, down! Oh, God! Have a taste. Ha! Ah, bottoms up. How's this for flavor? Hi, this. Ha! How's this? Aha! Did you get an assistant? Or am I seeing you do how's this for flavor? How's this? En garde! Have a taste. A toast to you. This is your last. Oh, yeah! Have a taste. How's this for flavor? Try this. Oh! A toast to you. This is your last. How's this for flavor? Have a taste. Oh, yeah! Have a taste. Aha! A toast to you. This is your last. How's this? How's this for flavor? En garde! Have a taste. Ha! I do my best work a little tip. How's this? Have a taste. How's this for flavor? How's this for flavor? Ah, bottoms up. Try this. Oh, yeah. How's this? Ha! Did you get an assistant? Or am I seeing? Try this. En garde! Have a taste. How's this for flavor? I do my best work a little tipsy. Have a taste. How's this for flavor? How's this for flavor? How's this? Huh. Did you get an assistant? Or am I seeing you have a taste? Oh! Hi, this. Oh, yeah. How's this for flavor? How's this for flavor? Have a taste. En garde! How's this? Oh! Have a taste. Aha! Ah, bottoms up. Try this. Oh, yeah. En garde. How's this for flavor? I do my best work a little. How's this? Have a taste. How's this for flavor? Have a taste. Watch your step. Ha ha! Have a taste. Ha! How's this for flavor? Oh, yeah! Ha! Try this. How's this? Oh! En garde! Ah, bottoms up! Have a taste. How's this for flavor? Have a taste. How's this for flavor? A toast to you. This is your last. Oh, yeah! Like this. Hi, this. Aha! I do my best work, a little tipsy. How's this for flavor? Have a taste. En garde! How's this for flavor? A toast to you. This is your last. Like this. Have a taste. Oh, yeah! Have a taste. Ha! Show me your dance. Ha ha ha! Like this. Oh! How's this for flavor? Have a taste. Ha! How's this for flavor? En garde! Hi, this. Aha! Did you get an assistant? Or am I seeing double? En garde! How's this for a flavor? Have a taste. Have a taste. Oh! Did you get an assistant? Or am I... Oh, yeah! How's this? How's this for flavor? En garde! Ha! Récomme! Buvez! Santé! Have a taste! Ha! Oh, garde! Aha! Stop trying to hit me and just hit me! Hi, this! Oh! Have a taste. How's this? Ha! Ha-ha! Let's dance! I do my best work, a little tipsy. How's this for a flavor? How's this for flavor? Hi, this! Oh, yeah! Huh. Did you get an assistant? Or am I seeing double? En garde! Have a taste. Aha! A toast to you. This is your last. Like this. Have a taste. Oh, garde! Like this. Oh! A toast to you. This is your last. Have a taste. En garde! How's this for flavor? How's this for a flavor? Ah, bottoms up. Hi, this. En garde! Ah. How's this for flavor? Oh, mon Dieu, have a taste. Have a taste. Like this. How's this for a flavor? flavor. Oh, yeah. Have a taste. Oh. How's this? I do my best work and how's this for flavor? Try this. How's this for flavor? Ah, bottoms up. Oh, yeah. Have a taste. Oh, God. Oh, God. A toast to you. This is your last. How's this for flavor? How's this for flavor? How's this? Aha. Have a taste. Ha! I do my best work, a little tipsy. Ha ha!
My blood reserves.
Try this. Have a taste. Have a taste. Oh! Ooh la la! Have a taste. Try this. Oh, ça fait mal! Exit. Stage right.